My name is Kath Molyneux. I'm a freelance consultant and I write software for businesses. The kind of software I write for businesses is the kind of software that helps them to do their job better. So I work primarily with businesses that have got a lot of information coming at them from all sides and help them to manage that information and produce whatever it is that they produce more effectively and more efficiently. The types of problems I solve for my customers are often in managing the jobs that they do, the projects that they're working on, and helping them to see where those projects are at, where those jobs are at, and facilitate those jobs being completed. The time frame for a typical project is between 1 to 5 days to create something that's going to help that company move forwards. What we find is that then things change, and the good thing about the kind of software that I write with is it is very, very flexible, because once the client sees the product in front of them, sees the software that we've written in front of them, then there's always things that they want it to do next, and ideas flow from there. If I could give you two examples of projects that I've worked on. One is for a firm of translators who have texts and documents for translating into most European and Eastern European languages. Text coming in every day. They need to find the right translator for the job and send quotes back to their clients for the cost of the translation, and then they need to manage that translation through its path to being translated into the language it needs to be. And then they need to make sure that that client gets invoiced and that information passed through into their accounting system. That system gives them everything that they need, because they can see at any moment, they can see where every job is in the system. So they can see where every job is in the system, who's got it at that moment, what needs to be done next to it, and they can see all that information on a constantly updating, refreshing electronic whiteboard right there on their computer screen. Another project that I've worked on as another example is a credit management system for a large globally situated consultancy firm, and they have debts. This system reduced the overall debt in that company from 20 million to an average of around 6 to 8 million. And the reason it did that was because it makes the debt very visible. They have 9 or 10 different accounting systems across the world. The system that I wrote for them pulls all that data together and gives them one set of information about who owes them money and how that money is being collected by the credit control department. Typically, a project would begin with me spending time with the client in their premises, finding out what the business does, how they run their business, what kind of systems they've got in place now, and where their problem areas are, where are the areas that I need to help them. Then I'd, during that first meeting, come up with some ideas, suggestions, very much in discussion with them. So I'm listening all the time to what it is that they need, and then go away, write a proposal with some ideas for software solutions, and write a prototype usually, which generally takes half a day to a day, and go through that with them. This usually brings up issues like, yeah, that's great, no, that I didn't mean like that, what I actually meant was. So those kind of things are cleared up very, very early on. Then I'll go away and write the software, often liaising back with the client to make sure that I understood what it was that they needed and showing them where we're up to, and then implement on client's premises, and generally I'll set up a remote link to their systems and to their office so that I can respond very quickly to any problems that are happening, after the software is installed. It's always a good idea to speak to the other people in the company who are going to be using the software to make sure they understand how it works, to make sure it's doing what they want, And again, changes and functionality changes will often happen along the way. And then from there on, I will be available for development or problem solving, and the project will generally, after the initial teething stage, will generally settle into a useful completed project for the customer. The things I love about the work that I do is building relationships with clients and finding out how their businesses work and helping them to make the businesses work better, make them more efficient in their job. And it always gives me a real buzz when I write something for a company and they love it, and they're like, oh yeah, this is great, this is doing just what we want, and we don't think about it, we just use it. I also like writing software, and what I like about my job is that I get a really good mix. I get to spend time with people, I get to find out what they're doing and how they work day to day, and to create a relationship with them. And I also get to do my programming and my problem solving and fixing things back in my office. So it's a really good mix for me.